When it comes to training, men and women are vastly different. Obviously, men tend to have natural upper body strength that women don't, and women tend to have natural lower body strength that men don't. All part of God's divine design. But that's not what we're talking about today specifically. We are going to talk about how, unlike men, women have 4 different hormone fluctuations throughout the month, which can have a huge impact on our energy levels, which impacts our performance in the gym and ultimately our progress. Men, you can watch this video I'm about to react to and take the advice at face value. Ladies, we need to adapt this advice to how our bodies work, which is exactly what I'm about to do in this video. But before we dive in, I am Coach Bree T, an ISSA certified personal trainer and precision nutrition certified level 1 nutrition coach. More importantly, I am a follower of Jesus and a child of the one true God. And this channel exists to teach you how to steward the body God gave you and made in his image wisely by combining faith with fitness and food so that we may be holy as he is holy. Please take a moment to like this video, leave a lovely comment below, subscribe to this channel, and ring that bell notification so you can stay up to date on all things faith, fitness, and food. Alright, let's go. Jeff Nippard is a science-based lifter with a YouTube channel dedicated to teaching us about science-based lifting techniques that optimize muscle growth. I personally have applied a lot of his advice in my own training, as well as when I'm training my clients, and long story short, it works. Now, I can already hear some of you anti-science Christians in the background saying, Jesus and science don't mix. On the contrary, you see, science doesn't exist without Jesus having created everything with such intricate detail that we need a way to understand it, so he gave us science in order to understand it. I mean, think about it. Your brain is so complexly designed that it can't even comprehend everything there is to know about it. But we have science to study, experiment, and learn what God allows us to know about his divine design, whether that's our bodies or other parts of creation. In other words, if we didn't have science, we wouldn't know how our bodies work and what they actually need in order to function the way God designed them to. And when used properly, science points us to the Creator. When used improperly, science becomes less about understanding and learning how things work and more about trying to fit data points into our own personal agendas. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get into this video. This is Jeff Nippard's video called I Cut My Workouts in Half, and maybe you should too. For context, Jeff is a bodybuilder who typically trains at higher volume, which means 10 to 20 sets of exercise, targeting one specific muscle group every week. Here is an example of what that looks like.
So let's use our chest as an example. Let's say you hit your chest on 2 days, 3 sets of chest press on Monday and 3 sets of cable flies on Thursday. And that's all you do for the week. That means your weekly chest volume is 6 sets per week. And for the last decade or so, the standard science-based guideline for sets per muscle per week was, what do you think? It's about 10 to 20 sets per muscle per week. That's quite a lot. Going with our chest example, the low end of the science-based range at 10 sets would look like this. 3 sets of chest press plus 3 sets of cable flies on Monday and 4 sets of push-ups on Thursday. And the high end of the science-based range at 20 sets would look like this. 4 sets of chest press and 4 sets of cable flies on Monday, 3 sets of push-ups and 3 sets of pec deck on Wednesday, 3 sets of incline press and 3 sets of dumbbell flies on Friday. That's a lot of chest. And
that is a lot of chest. So basically that means 3 to 4 sets of each exercise and then 3+ times a week per muscle group. Jeff, being a science-based guy, in this video decided to do this 100-day experiment to see how cutting his training volume in half would impact his progress. So instead of doing 3 to 4 sets of each exercise, he dropped down to 1 to 2 sets, And for a better definition of training volume, here's how Jeff defines it.
Now, to get everyone on the same page, when I say volume, I mean the total number of hard working sets that you do for a muscle each week. So if you do a large number of sets, you're doing a high volume program. If you do a small number of sets, you're doing a low volume program.
Now, why would somebody think that training at a high volume is absolutely necessary? Well, according to this video, there are 35 studies that tell us that high volume training is the king of muscle growth. So who can argue with 35 studies? However, there may be some factors that haven't been taken into consideration. Let's take a look.
There are some issues. If you venture deep into the dingy underground corners of the online science-based lifting subculture, you'll find plenty of people criticizing this paper. You'll hear that none of these studies are actually measuring true muscle growth. What's really happening is all that high-volume training is simply causing the muscle to swell up with blood and inflammation, something called edema. It's really just a big pump that lasts a few days, making it look like the subject's gained more muscle when the researchers measured it. There's probably some truth to this, but it's not the angle I'm taking. I think the overall effect is just too big across too many studies. It's more than just edema gains. Plus, the authors address this in the paper itself. No. Instead, I'm going to criticize this literature through a much more practical lens. First, let's get this straight. These studies didn't apply high volumes to every muscle all at once. No, most of them just blasted their biceps and triceps or their quads with high volumes. And for the most part, all their other muscles were trained normally or not at all. So the best you can really say is that high volume works if you blast a single muscle or two. Even the authors note that doing high volume for your entire body could cause some serious recovery issues. And speaking of
recovery is just as important as the intensity of your training. As women, we especially need to be mindful of our recovery and know how to track our cycles so we can recover properly. Now, he is about to go into the impact of caloric intake as well, but let me break it down a little bit my way first. During our different phases, we should be taking in different levels of calories. I learned recently from one of Dr. Josh Axe's videos that women should be taking in more calories during our menstrual, follicular, and ovulation phases through carbohydrates. So sweet potatoes, rice, oatmeal. Not potato chips, ice cream, and cookies. And during our luteal phase, going lower carb and focusing on green leafy vegetables, beets, and fruits such as apples and berries due to their blood building qualities and the help they give our digestive systems that will ultimately help keep our iron up and our bowels working properly during the menstrual phase. So with that being said, during our follicular and ovulation phases, we have higher caloric intake with higher energy so we can train at a higher volume. And during our luteal phase, when we are eating less calories and our energy is lower, we should train at a lower volume, or really base it on your personal energy levels. Basically, if you really have to fight yourself for that third set, it's your body telling you, just stop at 2. Okay? You don't need that third set today. All right? I'm going to let him continue.
recovery, almost all of these studies were done at around maintenance calories. But what happens if you're in a caloric deficit, like I am right now? A deficit means less energy, which means less recovery. So it's just not clear if these results apply when you're cutting. This is a crucial point that I'll come back to.
So you're a follower of Jesus, or curious about Jesus, and you want to get healthy, but you don't know where to start. Or maybe you do. You just need a little bit of help staying motivated. One of the things we tend to forget as Christians is the battle to get healthy is as much spiritual as it is physical, if not more. And that is why I have created the Kingdom Warrior Athletics Patreon community. It is a place where like-minded believers can come together online to support each other through the physical and spiritual battle of stewarding our image-bearing bodies. If you aren't a believer, you are welcome too. Just be prepared for a lot of Jesus talk. Regardless, you can join for free and have access to our Kingdom Warrior community and prayer request chats, and be able to participate in our monthly prayer video calls. If you are someone who needs accountability, prayer, and answers to your burning questions, you can simply partner with us for $10 a month. This will get you access to our Kingdom Warrior community chats, our monthly prayer video calls, and our monthly live Q&A with yours truly. If you are someone who also needs a bit of help getting started in the gym, you can join at Faith and Fitness Level 1 for $50 a month. Where not only will you be part of all of our community chats, our monthly prayer call, and our live Q&A, but you will also receive access to a new pre-written fitness program every month. This fitness program includes a digital copy of the program for you to track your progress, as well as access to video demonstrations of the workouts. And if you need more in-depth fitness coaching, you can join for $100 a month and receive access to our community chats, monthly prayer call, live Q&A, and receive a customized fitness program just for you. Plus, a monthly virtual one-on-one fitness coaching call with me for accountability and to discuss any changes you might need to your program. In the future, I will be offering nutrition coaching as well, but it doesn't hurt to get started in the gym right now. So join the Kingdom Warrior Athletics Patreon community today and get ready to become physically strong and spiritually stronger. To summarize, if you are eating less calories, you will have lower energy, and it's better for your recovery to train at a lower volume. If you are eating more calories, you will have higher energy and can better recover while training at a higher volume. So, like I said, adjust your training volume throughout the month based on your energy levels during the different phases of your cycle. And let me be clear though, low volume doesn't mean going lighter weights and less intensity. It means less sets, but keeping the intensity, which is keeping the heaviness of the weights that you typically use. No matter if you are trying to gain muscle and gain weight or gain muscle and lose weight, you should always keep your each set at high intensity. Make it heavy. For gaining, you're going to want to do weight that gets you 7 reps to failure. If you're wanting to gain and lose, 10 to 12 reps to failure or near failure is about right. And near failure is when you have at most 2 reps in the tank or could only push out maybe 2 more reps max. So say you've done 12 reps, but you could have at most pushed out maybe 2 more. Or if you're really serious trying to build muscle, push every set to failure. Basically, when your last rep isn't a full rep, maybe not even a rep at all. And Jeff Nippard also teaches in his other videos the last few reps on some exercises should be lengthened partials. So for instance, a bicep curl. When you fully extend to the bottom of that curl on each rep, but then your 7th and your 8th rep might look a little bit like a half rep, if even that. This is because moving the weight from the stretch position or loading the stretch has been scientifically proven. Again, Jeff Nippard did a study on that to cause greater muscle growth even with half reps. So ladies, let me give you an example of what your training protocol could look like in a given month. Here's what I typically do. During my menstrual phase, I tend to take a rest week. Maybe I'll squeeze 1 lower body day and then 1 upper body day in at 2 sets max each exercise. It really depends on my energy and my pain levels. With endometriosis, it's hit and miss. During my follicular and ovulation phases, I hit the gym 4 times a week, or try to, which typically looks like upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, rest, rest, with a minimum of 3 sets of each exercise. For my diet, I add sweet potatoes during the menstrual, follicular, and ovulation phases as well. During my luteal phase, which can be 1.5 to 2 weeks leading up to the menstrual phase, the first week might look exactly like it did in the follicular ovulation phase, depending on my energy levels. However, after that, the second week, I'm typically hitting the gym maybe 2 to 3 times and dialing it down to 2 sets of each exercise. So it would be like upper, lower, rest, probably rest again, maybe upper or lower, and then rest 2 more days, if that makes sense. Typically, for my diet during that luteal phase, I cut out the sweet potatoes and the starchy carbs and focus on broccoli, Brussels sprouts, beets, spinach, fruits, and a lot of red meat. Your training regimen may not look at all like mine. depending on your goals and needs. I am personally trying to build muscle without really losing weight. So I'm doing just about every set of most of my exercises, 7 reps to failure. So take this as an example and not the standard, and adjust it to what you need. Now, one of the benefits of adjusting your training volume down when your energy levels are down is that you can get in and out of the gym very quickly, and your focus is like locked in, which means less sitting around on your phone or roaming around procrastinating. And I've personally noticed this, even though I do my best usually to get in and out even on higher volume days, because I'm just like, I don't like being in the gym forever. I used to be that 3 hours in the gym type of person. Now I'm like, let me get this done. I'm out of here. It feels so much better though when I do have those 2 set weeks, because I'm like, oh, I don't have to think about pushing myself on that 3rd set. I'm just done after 2. And even Jeff noticed that during his experiment here.
By the midway point, I started to feel like all that extra volume that I used to do was depleting me more than I realized. I actually think it was holding me back in some ways, because training is supposed to be fun. And I'll tell you, I used to dread doing some of those super high volume workouts, especially leg days, and especially when cutting. Nowadays, for my leg workout, I hit 2 sets of squats, 2 sets of leg curls, 1 set of lunges, 2 sets of leg extensions, 1 set of abductions, and 2 sets of calves. It's not nothing, it's still a hard workout, but it only takes me about 45, maybe 60 minutes if I take my time, and I absolutely love it. I'm also more locked in than ever before. I don't know if it's some of my ADHD tendencies, but during almost every single high volume workout I used to do, my focus would always start to taper off near the middle. I'd go on my phone more, I'd rest a little longer in between sets, and just start socializing. An already long workout would drag on even more. And this is where a low volume training style really shines. It's what I've been calling the focus effect. When you know you only have 1 or 2 sets to get the job done, you will lock in. Before every set, I remind myself that I need to nail my execution and my effort. And because of that, I don't think there's been a single set where I didn't bring the intensity for this entire challenge. But I don't want you to just take my word for it. After all, this challenge only has 1 subject, and I haven't even shown.
You're probably wondering at this point, or maybe I've spoiled it already, but what did Jeff's results look like after the 100 days? Well,
So after 100 days of low volume workouts, what happened? Did it work? Well, this is what I looked like at the beginning of the challenge. And this is what I look like now, after 100 days of low volume training. I was cutting during this experiment, so I am clearly leaner now, but I also think I look more jacked, especially in my legs and my shoulders. And despite being about 7 pounds lighter in the after, I think I held onto my muscle fullness, size, and density really well. And my DEXA supports that too. From day 1 to day 100, I lost 5.5 pounds of fat mass and 1.8 pounds of lean mass. I think that's a really solid ratio, especially when you consider that lean mass isn't only muscle mass. It also includes any water that I lost during the cut. And at my training age, you always lose some water as you shred down. But the crazy thing is, I think my results are even better than that implies, because throughout this challenge, I got 3 DEXA scans. One done on day 1, another on day 30, and a final check-in on day 100. From day 30 to day 100, so across 70 days of low volume training, I actually gained half a pound of lean mass, while losing another 2.3 pounds of fat mass. That lean mass change could be within the margin of error, but it was still pretty encouraging to see. I also gained strength. Even in the very last week of my cut, when my macros were the lowest, I was hitting new PRs on the pendulum squat. I did 5 reps with 5 plates 2 weeks ago. Yeah. 6 reps with 5 plates last week. 7 reps with 5 plates this week. And my weight's going down.
so there you have it. He gained / maintained muscle, lost body fat, and kept getting stronger week to week. So ladies, next time your body is telling you to take a step back, probably just listen to it. And I'm preaching to myself here. Trust me. That is all I have for you today. If you got anything out of this video, please like it, leave a lovely comment below, subscribe to this channel, and ring that bell notification so you can stay up to date on all things faith, fitness, and food. I will see you next time. Grace and peace, y'all.